What's up, guys? My name is Jocelyn. Welcome to Vagina StabilityWOD. In today's workout, we are targeting the groin muscles or the adductors because they serve such important role when we talk about pelvic stability with the spine. Now, these muscles are stretched incredibly in our labor and delivery, and also we tend to not really use them functionally. We don't utilize them well enough. So what I find in many people and athletes, they have a really hard time strength-wise here. So when I started training this with my clients and with myself, I saw such good results with issues like incontinence, just overall connection with the core, also with prolapse. But the important thing was we did have to establish the deep core connection first. So if that is foreign to you, I would say learn about that first. There's videos on that, and then come back to this. So in this workout, we have 3 different movements, and those movements all target the groin muscles. Equipment-wise, you need a ball or a pillow that you can squeeze between your knees. You need a tube that has a ankle attachment like this, and then potentially an ankle weight. Most of you, if you've never done this, you will not need a weight. You also need a dumbbell or a weight plate for overhead. That weight could be anywhere from a couple pounds upwards of 15 pounds. The important thing is that whatever weight you do choose, it's something that you can control with and you can breathe and you're not straining. So let's dive into the movements. It's going to be 3 rounds. Total reps per leg is going to be 18 to 16 reps per leg, or 32 reps, or 16 to 32 reps total. The last movement is a bilateral movement, meaning everything's moving, and so your rep count will be 8 to 16. I'm going to walk you through 1 round and then let you go through the rest, just so you understand your focus points. First, get this down, and then once you know you've got just like the directional components of the movements down, then start focusing on the little details. For the standing exercise, if you do not have a solid balance and you know that you don't have issues with failed load transfer, then you will probably need something to hold on to, like a stick or a long foam roller, or maybe even a wall. Your band is going to be anchored at ankle level into a door. So that's how I have mine right now. Let's get into it. First movement is the Sideline Hip Adduction. So I would typically put a weight on, but since many of you don't need it, I'm going to demonstrate without it. You're going to lay on your side in a neutral spine position. So if you're laying back like this, you've got to get over it, and your hips have to be stacked. From this position, you're going to straighten your bottom hip and rest your top hip like this. It could be like this. You might need to stack pillows. It just depends where you are. Your bottom hip must be in line with your body. Most of you are going to have your hip and it's going to be forward into flexion. We don't want that. It has to be in neutral. And then as for the rotation, you don't want it to be turned out, and you don't want to be, I know it won't be turned in, but you want it to be in neutral as you reset and as you move. From here, you're going to gently engage your deep core. Some of you need a little bit more pelvic floor. Some of you need a little bit more abdominals. Choose the right option for you. Then you're going to lift your bottom hip straight up. Pause for a moment, and then control it as you come down. As you lift, you want to exhale. And then inhale. As you lift, your spine stays in neutral. And notice how slow I'm going. This isn't too fast. Eventually you can do that, but initially slow. Your target area that I want you to feel this is in your inner thigh. If you're feeling it in your hip flexors, you might need to adjust your position. You might need to adjust your execution, or this might just be an indicator that you need to be assessed, especially if you had tearing in your delivery and other issues. So I would do probably 16 on each side, depending on what my weight situation was, making sure I can control each. So once you can't control it, there's no point of pushing through reps. Second movement is the standing, and I would do that on both sides, standing hip adduction. So same movement, but now it's just a little bit different because of my position. Prerequisites would be you should have somewhat of decent, you should have balance, and if not, you have something to help you hold on to. And then have an idea of what happens when you do stand on one leg. So you should have already been exposed to that through the pelvic floor mobility program or individual rehab or programming with me. So from here, I want to start in a neutral position. My band is not angled, it's just straight across, anchored at the level of my ankle, as you can see. I am going to establish single leg balance on my right leg. My left leg's gonna stay straight. I'm gonna let the band pull out, and then I'm gonna pull my leg across. Slowly let it pull me out, and then pull across. As I'm pulling and as I'm letting the band pull me, I am keeping my spine in neutral. As I pull across, I'm gonna exhale. So I'm gonna probably do 16 on this side, but I could do 8, and then I'm gonna switch. Now, before we move on, I want you to keep in mind that this is a challenge, more of a challenge for this leg almost. So once you get this down, what I like to cue is maybe gently squeeze your glutes on this side, press your big toe down, make sure you're not bending your knee or hyperextending your knee. It's soft, but it's active. Your leg is active and you're not twisting. So both sides, I'd complete on that. And then the last movement is the hip adduction isometric with the lat pullover. So I need my ball. The basketball is a little big. That would be more of an advanced option. So those little play balls that you can get at Fry's or grocery stores, that's like the perfect size. Or fold a pillow. Now I'm gonna lay back here and I wanna talk about this position. A lot of women, moms, flare in this position. So you wanna make sure that you use props, pillows, yoga blocks, whatever you need to get your spine in neutral so you can access the deep core without thinking so much. So get yourself in a position. I don't need one. I could use a yoga block, but I'm gonna just use my ponytail. Now let's get the first part down. After I get into a neutral pelvic position, my spine is in neutral, I am going to squeeze the ball about 50%. As I squeeze, there's no tilting. And you guys gotta be aware of this because sometimes it just automatically happens. You don't even realize it. There's no squeezing of your butt cheeks. There's no holding your breath. Just squeeze between your thighs. And you should feel tension pulling in your inner thighs. This is really tiring. This one just never gets easier. Once you've got that down, then it's appropriate to add on the second component. Thing that to keep in mind, some really benefit and feel this more. They gently engage the deep pelvic floor muscles. So think about the bean, squeezing around the bean and lifting, and then squeezing, okay? It has to be in an intensity that you're not over recruiting your abdominals and you're not holding your breath or straining. Second part, you may not even need a weight for this. You might just do this like this. It's up to you. That's the easiest option. So I'm gonna engage with the ball and then my thumbs, starting like this, are gonna go overhead like this with my arms. And then I'm gonna come back and then I release the squeeze, reset. I'm gonna do that again and then reset. Some of you may want to exhale in both phases of the motion. Some of you might want to inhale and then exhale. But you've got to get your diaphragmatic breathing pattern down first, so it's not up here, it's everywhere. With the plate option, so I'm gonna engage, I'm gonna inhale for me, but you inhale or exhale, and then I'm gonna exhale. Now, if I was standing, I'd probably exhale, so I'm gonna practice that. I'm gonna exhale, inhale first, exhale, and then breathe in between, relax. So I would probably do 8 of those because those are tiring. And by adding the upper body movement, we add more abdominals. And that's the name of the game. We move as a connected unit, but we have to set up the system for success. So I would do 3 rounds of those 3 movements, and that would be my stability WOD for the day. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you get a great workout in. I'd love to know what you think. You can post them in the comments or reach out to me, and I'll see you on the next Stability WOD.